Hey guys, Jordan here. Just wanted to do a quick video. It's a little late at night. Just finished my second watch of season 4, episode 1 of Westworld. Just wanted to get some quick thoughts out there. So, we open up 7 years after the events of season 3, and we open up with Ed Harris as William, the Man in Black. He shows up to the Hoover Dam to buy some property. The cartel guys at the beginning are talking about him picking up all this different land and stuff. But ultimately, he says that he can sell the land to William, or he can give it to him for free the next day. And so ultimately, William uses the flies on the cartel guy to reprogram him, like they've been planning on doing with reprogramming the humans, and causes him to kill everybody on his side, gives him the dam, and then kills himself. And that's how we open season 4. But then the big part that I want to get into is going to be Christina / Dolores, played by Evan Rachel Wood. I'm going to save her for after the next two. I'm going to go character by character, but that's all we really see William for the most part. So on to Aaron Paul as Caleb Nichols, played by Aaron Paul. He picks up 7 years after the events of the last season. He's still a little bit paranoid. He is so happy about what he did, but then he has that discussion with his coworker on top, like how much his life really changed for you, and you can tell that really resonates with him. But ultimately, right there, you can see the little confliction in his life right now. Like, he did this great thing so long ago, and he thinks about it all the time, but what did it result in? But then we're gonna cut to a little bit later in the episode with him and his daughter, Frankie, and I thought their dynamic and their chemistry was really well done. He's teaching her how to shoot a BB gun, but the mom is kind of against it and not really going for it because she thinks that Caleb is a little bit too paranoid because of his time as a soldier and of the events of the last season. But then I really like their chemistry as well, their dynamic. They're a cute family ultimately. But then, let's see, we go a little bit later in the episode and we get Maeve, played by, and I apologize if I completely butcher this name. She's been in quite a few things. Thandaway Newton plays Maeve, and she is easily my favorite character of the show right now. Just the different powers that she kind of possesses, I guess. How she, in this episode, is tracked down by these hunters who work for the corporation, and they track her down. She's trying to figure out who they work for and wires into this guy's brain to access his memories. And it was just wild, and I love the sci-fi in this. I love the creativity that the show has. It's not always perfect, but it goes places that most other shows and movies will not. And then I'm just gonna cut to the chase, the meat of it, because I got some theories going into next week. Evan Rachel Wood coming back as Christina this time around, but we all know her as Dolores. I feel like her timeline is not going at the same time as the one with Maeve and Caleb Nichols. Ed Harris, not quite sure where his falls. Don't really have too many theories around him yet, just because we only saw a little bit. But I feel like that may be a earlier segment, like in between season 3 and season 4, just due to, I think that the land that he's buying at the beginning is going to be for the new park, and I think that's where we're going to be going here soon. But back to Christina. Um, I she's my second favorite character, which they kind of write it to be where these two women are like the yin and yang. But there's so much happening here. Between the teenage boys walking by, so excited that it's their first time somewhere, and it appears to just be like this city, but I kind of feel like they're in the park. I feel like her time jump happens to be a little bit more in the future. And I think the tower is going to be the watchtower, kind of similar to the one from the park in season one. Just so many theories about this. And then Peter pops up out of nowhere, it seems, at the end. And then when Teddy finally makes his reveal, you don't see his face yet, but he fends off Peter and they disappear. I feel like there's something going on there with the coinciding, like, almost different realities that are right next to each other. Because later on, when Peter ultimately kills himself, I felt like, even though it didn't show much, it kind of cut away real quick, but it didn't seem like anybody else was reacting, and the only person that could see him was Dolores and Christina, whatever you want to call her in this case. But overall, it was a slower episode, even though I touched on a little bit right there on just some things that I'm picking up on, but I'm super interested with what they're setting up. It looks like we're heading back to the park next week, and we didn't see Bernard at all. Looking forward to seeing him. One other thing that I noticed is Peter kept on referencing the fact that Dolores was able to control everybody's storylines, and I kind of feel like that's gonna lead to something with her working at this video game company, designing NPCs. But we will see down the line. It's a little late, so I'm gonna have to cut this one short.